You're watching the Daily Dodge pregame show.
And good evening. You are tuned in to Beaver Dam High School Wrestling. My name is Ninja. On the call today, I have Athletic Director Ryan Gerber. Ryan, how you doing today?
I'm great, Ninja. How you doing?
Doing all right. Making do. Our equipment setup's a little weird tonight, but we're making it work.
It's another big night in Beaver Dam Athletics. It's a good night. Anytime we can get out on the mat, it's a good night.
And, I mean, we're not just out on the mat tonight. We're also out on the ice tonight. We're out on the court tonight. We're trying to cover as much stuff as possible. But I think you and I get the best seats in the house because the wrestling, for me, is so informative, so entertaining, and it's just this pure athleticism.
Sure. And by the way, Ninja, of all the places, this is the only place with a seat back that we get. So
that's
over
true.
At the
it's
ice.
Comfortable.
So, we've got wrestling here. This is the last dual meet of the year for the Golden Beavers. They're taking on Oregon, coming in. Across the road, the boys hockey teams playing Sheboygan, playing for the She-Dam Anchor Trophy, which I put out a picture on Instagram about that earlier today. Awesome trophy, huge trophy. So after this, when you're done watching this, I'm going to be giving updates as I can. Switch over to the Daily Dodge, watch that. Or you could also turn on the girls basketball team, which is at Brookfield Central today. They're on ESPN Radio. So if you're like me, I'm usually at an event with another one going on my phone and listening to another one somehow on audio. So perfect night for that. What else would you be doing on a Friday night in Beaver Dam?
There's nothing else to do. I mean, you hit the fish fry early.
Yeah.
Then you make your way out here. You watch wrestling. You watch hockey. Then, of course, you turn on the basketball game, probably just in time to hear the girls pull out another amazing win.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're looking for, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm going to call it now. Maybe I'm presumptuous. I'm going to say 3 wins tonight for Beaver Dam.
We can hope so. The kids got to perform, but I know a lot of games with some high stakes and implications for the rest of the year, and certainly that starts with this one here. So big match tonight against Oregon. It's senior night. They got 2 seniors that they'll be honoring on the mat, and a whole host of managers tonight. So it's a big match for the Golden Beavers.
Wonderful. We remind everybody that tonight's sponsorships are coming from Hometown Glass and Improvement, Columbus Family Dental, and the Beaver Dam Unified School District. Sports today on Daily Dodge TV, also brought to you by McKinstry's Home Furnishings, Klodowski Real Estate, Slumberland, Silica for your home, Summit Ford, Beaver Dam Mayville Tire Service, Surefire, Richards Insurance, Reed Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, the Park Village Shopping Center, Preferred Dental Partners, Jerry's Automotive, Air Care, Napleton Chevy Buick GMC, and White Construction. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, Wade Bates has an interview with Coach Tim Winkler.
The comfort in your home is too important to trust to just anyone. With over 75 years in the industry, Surefire Heating and Air Conditioning is proud to bring our community the heating and cooling services you deserve. Expect nothing short of excellence in service, installation, and 24/7 emergency service. As a premier Lennox dealer, we carry the best in equipment to bring you and your home peace of mind. Schedule your annual maintenance or claim your free in-home estimate today, 920-485-4883. Surefire, keeping what's important comfortable since 1947.
At Summit Ford Beaver Dam, we are committed to serving the customers in our community, to bringing you into our dealership and making the buying process easy, fun, stress-free, and memorable. Thank you for choosing us and voting us Dodge County's best place to buy a new or used vehicle. Stop in today for a test drive and to see how we can help you find the car of your dreams. Summit Ford Beaver Dam.
Hey, it's Stacy with Slumberland, Beaver Dam in Watertown. Stop in and see everything that our store has to offer. We built it just for you. We have mattresses, box springs, power bases, bedroom sets, furniture, living room sets, dining sets, everything that you would need to complete your entire home. We've got our interest-free financing and a really great local staff here to help you. So you've got all local people here to help you out from start to finish for anything that you would need. So stop in, shop local, and save big with us.
Hi, I'm Josh Schneider with Silica for Your Home. We have a great feature available in our showrooms, our digital price tags. They search the internet every day and allow us to adjust the prices based on our competitors. That ensures you are always getting the best deal. If it finds a lower price, it will automatically change our silica price in real time. These digital price tags are all about saving you time and money. Shop Silica for your home for the best sales, service, and selection.
Happy New Year from our family to yours at Reed Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Beaver Dam. Now let's celebrate with the Start of Something New sales event featuring 15% off in-stock 23 Grand Cherokees and Dodge Durangos. That's up to $9,400 in savings on the best SUVs in the market. Last call for the iconic Hemi engine on the classic Dodge Charger and Challenger with $3,000 off brand new Charger Daytonas and the hard-to-find Sublime Green Challenger Scat Pack for under $55,000. Let our family take care of your family at Reed Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Beaver Dam and ReedChrysler.com.
You're watching the Daily Dodge pregame show.
Let's bring in Beaver Dam High School wrestling coach Tim Winker right now as the Golden Beavers get ready for their final dual meet of the season with Oregon on Friday night. A match you can watch on Daily Dodge TV. Coach, it's amazing how fast that the wrestling season goes by.
Oh, just seemed like yesterday we were trying to get kids in and figure out how to juggle them around, fit all the weight classes, and now we're 2 weeks away from the conference tournament, heading into the postseason. So, yeah, it's a shock how quickly this goes, and now you just kind of keep working, and all of a sudden, we're at the end now.
Coach, in every season, obviously there's ups and downs. Just overall, what is your assessment of how the Golden Beavers performed this year on the mat?
We've really shown that we can compete with some of the top teams in the state. Last Saturday we wrestled at Muskego in a team duel. We ended up dropping the duel to Muskego, who's ranked number 4 or 5 in Division I. It actually came down to the last 2 matches. We had a shot at winning the second last match, and if we'd have won that, we may have won the duel. But obviously it didn't turn out that way. But for our kids to understand that, we had a team like that on the ropes and we had our shot at winning that duel, really gives them a better understanding of like how well we compete with really any team in the state. At the same time, we've had a couple losses in duels this year where maybe we didn't perform as well as we could have. And as a coach, we got to talk to the kids and help them understand, like, you can compete against anyone in the state if we prepare to compete. If we're not ready, if we're not focused to do what we have to do in each and every match, some teams that maybe aren't quite as good as us are gonna sneak up and beat us because we didn't wrestle at our best. So that's always a learning process throughout the year for any team. And unfortunately, you'd like to learn that and still win the duel. But I think, in the case where you drop a duel that you're like, man, we were the better team, it drives that point home a little bit better to your kids.
Well, Coach, heading into the final regular season conference dual meet of the season, Oregon Friday night, you're still in position where you have a shot to bring home, an overall conference championship if things go your way, right?
Yep. So we've won 4 of our 5 duels in conference. So against Oregon, we're in a position we should be able to win that duel, but obviously you gotta wrestle the matches and find out what the team total is at the end. But that would put us at 5-1, possibly for the conference season. Wanakee is actually I think they have 1 or 2 duels left, but looking at who they have, I think they'll end up finishing 6-0, which means Wanakee will go into the conference tournament with 6 points for their 6 dual wins, and we'll go in with 5, and everybody else will be something less than that. And then based on the team results at the conference tournament, the highest placing team from the Badger Large would get, I think it's either 6 or 7 points. The next highest placing team would get 1 point less. So if we finish ahead of Wanakee, if we finish 1 place ahead of them in team points, we'd get 1 more point and we'd be tied. If we finish 2 places ahead of them, now we get 2 more points than them and we'd have an outright title. So everything's still in view to be able to control our own destiny. Just we made it a little bit harder on ourselves by maybe not wrestling our best at times.
Coach, senior nights against Oregon, just kind of talk about this group of seniors, the class of 2024.
Finishing up last year, we actually did not have any juniors that were wrestling at the end of year last year. We had one girl that was wrestling for us, but unfortunately injuries ended her season and kind of ended her career. But then we had two young men come back to wrestling this year that had taken quite a few years off. One was AJ Sweeney, who just actually transferred to Beaver Dam as a junior from a school in Minnesota. And one day when I was at football practice, I happened to see him wearing a wrestling shirt. And I'm like, "You're a wrestler?" He's like, "Well, I used to." I'm like, "Well, you're wrestling again this year." So unfortunately, he had some injuries last year, wasn't able to wrestle, but he came back to wrestling this year and has did a great job for us this past weekend in our team duel tournament. And then the other one is Colt Kaczynski, who had wrestled through our youth program, but his freshman year was the whole COVID debacle, so he had chose to step away from wrestling. And then his sophomore, junior, he had focused on some other things other than wrestling and decided to come back and give it one more shot this year. And he was wrestling really well. Unfortunately, had kind of a bad injury last weekend in his tournament. But I mean, he was wrestling really well at JV level. Certainly a kid that on many teams in the state, he'd be able to find a starting spot. But when you have, some of the wrestlers we have in a starting position, it's pretty tough to crack that lineup. But it was great to have those guys as part of the team to build this roster, to really solidify it and give us some competition in a lot of weight classes. And I'm just excited to celebrate all the contributions those young men and women have given to our program over the year.
Coach Tim Winker, I appreciate the time. Again, we want everybody to come out to the field house to watch Beaver Dam wrestling. If you can't, though, Ryan Gerber and Justin Wilski will have the call on Daily Dodge TV. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
You're watching the Daily Dodge pregame show.
And we're back at the Beaver Dam Fieldhouse. Ninja with Ryan Gerber. They have started the senior night activities. We're going to try and mic that up and see if we can get it.
Wrestling manager for 3 years. Next year, she plans on attending UW Green Bay to major in design. Her favorite wrestling memory was participating in our food drive with the Elks Club on Christmas Eve each year. Next is Colt Kaczynski. This is Colt's 6th year in wrestling. Next year he plans to go to the Air Force and then to college to get his bachelor's degree. And his favorite wrestling memory was finding out that he was going to qualify for JV states. Next is Anastasia Putzitten. This is her 12th year involved in wrestling. It is her first year as a manager due to a torn ligament in her shoulder. Next year, she plans to attend Lakeland University in Plymouth on a scholarship. She has 2 favorite memories. One, winning her first match against a girl and against a boy, as well as beating Wanakee in a duel and getting ice cream afterward. Next is AJ Sweeney. AJ has been wrestling for 9 years. Next year, he plans on joining the Marines and serving our country. His favorite wrestling memory is leading the Goya Jacks as a team each day at the end of practice. And last, Alana Tadazak Curry. She has been a manager for 1 year. Next year, she is planning on attending UW Green Bay and studying psychology. And her favorite memory is working scoreboard with Tanya and Jackie at our JV duels. From the entire Beaver Dam wrestling program, seniors, we cannot thank you enough for your contributions, not only this year, but across all the years of the program. There's something about this team that made you want to be a part of it this year and in past years, and we are proud that you found a home with us, and we are proud that you were able to contribute to everything that we do, not only for our athletes, but for our managers and just the community in general. We hope all the lessons that you have learned through the sport of wrestling carry you far into life, that understand that you always have a home here at Beaver Dam Wrestling. We invite you to always come back and join us for our home events in future years. We encourage you to continue to give back to the sport of wrestling throughout your lives, and that doesn't have to be in Beaver Dam, that can be anywhere, right? Wrestling is a worldwide community. We want to be ambassadors for the sports at all time, and we certainly tonight want to thank you for all of your hard work and contributions throughout your careers here at Beaver Dam. Thank you, seniors.
Well, there you go. Little senior night activity here at the Beaver Dam Fieldhouse.
Yeah, this is, for a coach, this is always the toughest night of the year. These seniors that put all that effort in over 4 years and are leaders, and you watch grow from their freshman year on, and this is the last one, so this is always the toughest one for any head coach. And I can remember many times this is, you do the celebration before it, and you're fighting back a little bit of tears because even though you got more season to go, it's the last duel, and that's tough. So Coach Winker, he's giving hugs out to some of the seniors that aren't wrestling. I know Colt Kaczynski, senior, he's out with an injury, with an injured elbow. He won't be able to compete tonight on senior night. So again, this is one of those tough nights, but also celebration night, a good recognition for those kids, and from all of us, not just the wrestling program, but for all of us at BDHS, we salute your efforts and your contributions and your commitment. So thank you, seniors. As the lights go out and the music kicks on.
Always one of my favorite parts. Get a little hyped up.
Hey, there's a little bit of show. A little bit of show in all of us. Hey, it's not so different than the Family Center where they turn the lights green and they do the introduction. So we just got a matte lamp here.
There you go.
So last home duel of the year for the Golden Beavers. They're 3-0 on the season, hoping to make 4-0 at home. They are 4-1 in conference. Their only loss was to Wanakee last week. They had a couple guys out with injuries, lost that duel by a point. So they made it a little tougher on themselves in their goal to win a conference title, but they're not thinking about that tonight. They're thinking about how do we beat Oregon and get out of this thing with a win, get out of this healthy, and get ready for the postseason, because the conference tournament is next week, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we go along, what that looks like, and whether or not the Golden Beavers have a shot or not to claim that conference title.
Well, we're going to go ahead and take a quick moment and step aside, as I'm sure they're going to be prepping for the national anthem, and we'll be right back on Daily Dodge TV.
In today's financial markets, you will find all your needs met at Park Village Shopping Center. Time is right for a home equity line of credit. The folks at Horicon Bank can make those home remodel dreams a reality. Searching for sound financial advice? Kevin Smith of Edward Jones will help you make sense of your investments. Kevin knows the market inside and out. Knightberry Title meets all your title needs, from commercial to residential. The team at Knightberry is your partner for success. This is why you hear people say, I shop Park Village Shopping Center. You should too.
Park Village Shopping Center.
When it comes to a winning lineup, turn to the selection of new and pre-owned vehicles at Napleton GM in Beaver Dam. Their team goes the extra mile to provide a winning experience, from hassle-free financing options to exceptional customer service. It's like having a dedicated cheering section cheering you on in every step of the vehicle purchase. Give the team at Napleton GM in Beaver Dam a call at 920-885-3301 or visit napleton151.com and find new roads with their winning inventory.
Is selling your home like a walk in the park? If you were in Central Park at 2 a.m. maybe. Chris Kladowski Real Estate. When it is time to sell, be it due to loss or love, growth or downsizing, staying near or going far, there are 3 basic steps. List it, sell it, move on. The steps are made simple by working with a trusted real estate advisor. Our family team is with you every step of the way, making those 3 steps as smooth and fun as possible. Kladowski Real Estate. We look forward to serving you.
Jerry's Automotive in Beaver Dam is a champion of our local schools. Team up with Jerry's Automotive by pumping your gas at their Spirit Pump, where 2 cents of every gallon is donated to a local school each month. Jerry's Automotive also provides exceptional vehicle service and repairs and a great selection of convenience items. Visit Jerry's Automotive Center WI.com and on Facebook. Jerry's Automotive, 700 North Spring Street in Beaver Dam, across the street from Beaver Dam Food Pride.
You're watching the Daily Dodge pregame show.
And welcome back on Daily Dodge TV. Ninja here with Ryan Gerber. We want to remind everybody that the Beaver Dam Unified School District's monthly Board of Education business meetings are streamed live on the district's YouTube page. Visit bdusd.org for Board of Education information and details on upcoming meetings. Now, Ryan, I know we say this about basketball. We say what it looks like on paper, and then we say the games aren't played on paper. We say the same thing about football. I know we say the same thing about wrestling, but how does this look on paper?
Well, both these teams are coming in with not very many seniors. In fact, the Oregon team doesn't have any, and the Beavers will throw out one senior in their lineup tonight. So both these teams are fairly young, but I just think at this point in the progression of these two teams and developing, this Beaver team is a little bit further ahead. And even speaking with Oregon's coach, Coach Hookstead, he said, look, we know what we're getting in this matchup tonight. We know what you guys have. You guys have a lot of firepower. We're just looking to wrestle tough and stay within ourselves and get ready for the postseason. So I think if you were a betting man, if you're putting some odds on it, I think the odds would favor the team in gold and green. But this is what I can tell you about Oregon, having coached against them for a number of years. They will not lay down. They will come out and fight. They've got some nice, solid young kids that have come up through a solid youth program that continues to pump out kids at the U State tournament. So there's going to be some experience on that side. But I'll tell you, Ninja, we've got so many wrestlers, and here's one of them walking out there right now, Ethan Wharton, who we've got a lot of kids on this team that could possibly make it to the Cole Center and wrestling at the state tournament. And I think at this point in the year, they're starting to see the light to that tunnel, and I just don't think they're going to be denied. So I'm going to put it on the Beavers tonight, but they better not be sleeping. They better come out and wrestle. They better be aggressive from the get-go, because if they don't, they're going to get nipped.
Well, I can say that I haven't called anybody in Vegas yet to find out what the odds are, but I have to agree with you. All the wrestling I've seen so far this year, I've seen a lot of wrestling with heart. I've seen a lot of people wrestling with their heads. And I think that's going to be a key today.
Yeah, one of the hallmarks of this Golden Beaver team, and really has been this way since Tim Winker's taken over, is they wrestle intense and they wrestle tenacious. And it's really a college style that they wrestle. They just keep getting after it. They're going to take you down. They're going to ride. They're going to grind you into the mat. They're going to make you pay. And that's a real physical, very mature style, and that's going to benefit in matches like this. So, again, it'll be interesting to see how some of our guys react tonight and how they're prepared. But the Golden Beavers, on paper, have a little bit more firepower tonight. But, hey, best of luck to both teams, and I'm hoping to see a good match that pushes both teams. And keep in mind, they're going to see each other next weekend at the conference tournament. So one of the big non-scene things, non-paper things is head-to-head matchups. So when you look at these lineups and you see, for instance, our first matchup here, these two guys could potentially wrestle next weekend, or more importantly, at the seed meeting, this head-to-head is going to play a real big role in who's higher than who. And I know a lot of fans don't think about that, those that are a little clued in a little bit. But when you're at that seeding meeting, it really, how you do against common opponents and head-to-head really makes a huge difference. It's not just about wins. So really important matches to get here.
It's interesting because I think back to some of the other wrestling that we've covered, and you talked about the strategy that goes into each match, knowing which one to go for, major points, minor points, just, keeping points away from the opponent. And it sounds like there's just as much strategy that goes into planning out where people are going to be sitting when tournament time comes, where the seating's going to be, where the numbers line up.
Coaches are plotting out where guys are weighing in and how they're doing at tournaments since the beginning of the year. They're trying to get a lead on where guys are going to line up at regionals and sectionals. And if you can get those head-to-head matchups, even better. Before we get started here, and it looks like we're going to do some assistant referee, which is great, I got to tell you this. We are in desperate need, not just in Wisconsin, not just in wrestling, but across all sports and across the country. We are in desperate need of officials. If you want to help us out, if you want to continue to see this sport or other sports continue on at the high school level, please help us out and get certified to be an official. We need them. We're running out of them. A lot of officials are aging out of it. If you think that you can help us out, if you want to continue to see this sport grow, then come see me. I'll help you out, or get on the WI website and become an official. So we have Landon Johnson here, starting out at 113 pounds, and that's our starting weight class here. He's a sophomore coming in tonight at 17-16 on the season. Fifth at the Wickersham that we hosted here in Beaver Dam prior to the Christmas break. Most recently wrestled at Muskego. They had a dual meet tournament in Muskego, wrestled a couple blue blood teams, and I'll talk about that a few times tonight. Went 2-3 against some pretty tough competition. You know, Landon Johnson's probably a 6-pounder, but for the team in this setting and trying to maximize the amount of team points that are possible, he's wrestling up at 113 pounds, and that may not seem like a lot, but it is for these smaller guys, that weight disparity. So he's giving up a little bit of weight, and usually that means giving up a little bit of strength. But I will also tell you, Coach wouldn't throw him up there if he didn't think he could compete and didn't think he could hold his own. And Landon's been doing that for the team all year. So props to Landon. And anytime I see him during the day, I kind of give him a props on that. Like, hey, you're really taking one for the team. You're really stepping up. And that shows some maturity and a lot of courage and shows what kind of team guy he is. We're at about 42 seconds left in the first period. Not much action's gone on here. You could see the Oregon wrestler started with a little bit of upper body and looking for some underhooks, which is a little unconventional for lower weights, but tells you the story that maybe he's done some freestyle Greco. Now we see a shot by Johnson. You see his head is straight down. He kind of went down to the mat like a dart, and that means his head was down when he shot, and not the best spot there. You want to take that shot where you're lowering your level, meaning you're bending your knees, you're lowering your hips, you're literally lowering your level and keeping your head up. And I know I've mentioned this before, and I'm not just putting in a plug for football, but it's just like tackling. If you tackle with your head up, good things happen. If you tackle with your head down, you're going to miss. And wrestling is the same way. When you're shooting in on those legs, if your head is down, if you're looking at that mat when you're going for a takedown, bad things happen. And he took another shot with his head down, and the Oregon wrestler got a takedown with about 10 seconds or less in that period.
It was interesting. I think it's the first time I've seen a period go with no points for that long.
Yeah, definitely not something that we've seen conventionally throughout the year, especially by this Golden Beaver team. But, hey, those things happen, and especially in a match like this where you have a guy giving up some weight, there's a feeling out period, especially early on in the duel. And Landon's a nice wrestler. He's going to be a big-time asset for this team down the stretch. He's a kid that has had a lot of success in the youth program coming up, and I know, again, he's being asked to do some things this year for the team, but they know they can handle it. And again, a lot of upper body being shown here by the Oregon wrestler, and he's going for a throw. Can Johns keep his hips up? He's got to keep his hips up. Keep pushing into the Oregon wrestler. He's going to get the turn right there. He has been awarded 2. Okay, there you go. So no near fall there. So what happened there is the Oregon wrestler was forcing a little bit of upper body stuff. And whenever you wrestle upper body, it's really feeling out where the other opponent's weight is, where his hips are. If his weight's back, if his hips are back, and you try to throw, you've got no leverage, you've got no momentum, you're going to end up in that position. And Johnson did a great job defending there and countering that. And getting the takedown. The only thing he didn't get, of course, was get that turn, get enough control to get near fall. But now we're on top. We've thrown some legs, which you know, Ninja, how that makes me nervous, how I feel about that. But he's controlling with about 43 seconds left, 2-2. Coach Newberger's calling for a Turk series. Back home in my house, that's, back in the day when I was coaching down in the school south of here, we were a big leg Turk team on top. So kind of brings back memories when I hear that yell. We used to get we'd get the whole homestand calling for the same move. It was great.
I absolutely love when everything comes together like that. And I mean, we can see here he's vying for leverage, vying for position, really kind of staying with it.
Yeah, and you'd love to get some near fall points, but right now you want to keep him from getting away. 2 seconds left, cannot give up an escape. Nice return there. So we got a takedown from neutral in the second period. We tied it up. Now it's our choice third period because Oregon chose neutral. So we're going to choose down here, and that's the correct call because it's a 2-2 match with 2 minutes left in the match. If you can get an escape here and go up 3-2, you got the advantage. If you can get a reversal, you're up 4-2. So, again, good, sound strategy here. Deferring in the second to get to the third. Tied 2-2 with a chance to score early. And you saw a caution there. The top man just wasn't in correct position for the match to start, so he got a caution. And it's basically a warning. If he gets another one, it'll be a point. I always used to tell my wrestlers, the first one's free, the second one's a point, so you get one to burn. As you can see, Johnson's going to quad pot here. Ooh, he got hung up there in a second. That's not a good position, but the Oregon wrestler's out of position, in a leg position. That's why I get nervous there. Johnson recovered beautifully, countered, and he's got the pin. Nice job, Landon, and that would be a McKinstry's Home Furnishing pin, the first one of the duel.
And hopefully many more to come with that green and yellow on top.
That was good. So what happened there, the top wrestler, threw legs, got out of position, wasn't able to recover, got high. Johnson was able to slip through there and get the pin, get the stack. So we're going to move to 120 pounds here. The Oregon Panthers are going to send out freshman Logan Steffen, and for the Golden Beavers, Braden Laneville, who's been in the lineup the last few weeks. He's shown some real nice growth. He's another kid that's come up through their youth program and shown some real development as he's gotten more mat time.
Right off the bat here, I'm noticing a little more aggression, a little more getting right to it than the last match.
So he's going to pop down. He got dragged down to the mat. That's going to be an illegal hold. That's a figure 4 on the head, really the whole body. And the official's going to call for a 1 point illegal hold. So at figure 4, no, it's not like what many of you know of the figure 4, although Ric Flair did go to school at Wayland, so that'll be my last drop there, but Wade will be so happy that I mentioned that. But that's where your legs come together, your foot goes in the knee, your knee and you're wrapped around the body, and the reason for that is you can put tremendous pressure on your opponent. Laneville goes with a real low single shot there. Again, his head was down, but in that case he went so low at that ankle that it's acceptable in that case and popped right up. And that's what I really like there. Not just sitting down there on that ankle, popped right back up to his feet into a strong position and gets the 2 takedowns. So real nice offense there. Now he's on a 2-on-1 and really trying to pressure across the Oregon wrestler. The Oregon wrestler's trying to peel that 2-on-1 off, and he did successfully. And we're working back to our feet. We need a return here. Nice escape by the Oregon wrestler coming up and cutting through. Now he's right back on the shot. Nice aggression by him and took him down to his back, which is bonus points. So this is one of those we used to call bonus takedowns because it's not only just a takedown, but you're taking him to his back, so you're getting those bonus points right away. So why go for a 2-point takedown when you can go for a 4 or a 5-point takedown if necessary? So Braden's got to be careful here. He's lowered his head. Now that's a stack. That's a stack, and that would be a McKinstry's Home Furnishings pin for the other side. But so what happened there is Laneville was down underneath in the referee's position and put his head on the mat. And when you're teaching young wrestlers position, the first thing in that lower position is get up and move. Second thing is keep your head off the mat. And when you get your head stuck on the mat, bad things happen, and that was an example of just getting caught in a stack there.
While we're setting up for our next match, I want to remind everybody that this broadcast brought to you by our partners Hometown Glass and Improvement, Columbus Family Dental, and the Beaver Dam Unified School District. Also brought to you by McKinstry's Home Furnishings, Klodowski Real Estate, Slumberland, Silica for your home, Summit Ford, Beaver Dam Mayville Tire and Service, Surefire, Richards Insurance, Reed Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Park Village Shopping Center, Preferred Dental Partners, Jerry's Automotive, Air Care, Napleton Chevy, Buick GMC, and White Construction.
Yeah, so we're at 126 pounds. Grayson Kenevin for the Golden Beavers and Elliot Kep for the Oregon Panthers. Kep's done a really nice job coming out early and being very aggressive. Came out right off the whistle, took a shot, took us to the mat for 2, and then cut us. And that's simply just releasing us, letting us back up to the feet. Why would you do that? To get more takedowns, of course. And we've seen that a little bit on some of our past broadcasts where some wrestlers do that. For some people, that's a real strategy. For others, it's a necessity.
Saw something here I haven't seen before. The top wrestler from Oregon kind of planted his head in the Beaver Dam player's back.
Sorry, Ninja. I'm just taking care of something that's over at the rink right now.
No, you're fine.
I did get an update from the Family Center, no score with about 7 minutes left. Sorry, but we had a situation over there that I was just taking a look at and having to send a message out to. So we're at 4-2 with 12 seconds left in the first period.
Something else weird here I just saw to start off this set, or this period. We were in a down position, and they just let us stand up.
Yeah, so again, there's multiple ways to what you could say cut a wrestler, and that's not literally. It just means you're going to cut him loose and let him come to his feet. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that. Some make him work for it a little bit. Some just let him go up. But again, if you're stronger in your feet, then you want to wrestle from your feet. Here, the Oregon wrestler deferred. We chose neutral with our choice, and we got taken down right away with a big demonstrative blast double there where he lifted his way up and put us right on our butt there. We got to get some offense going and certainly our shot attacks. But when a kid can shoot this hard, and especially with a double leg, that's difficult to do from space. And so one of the things, if we wrestle this kid again, one of the things that Grayson needs to do is close the distance, get his hands on the wrestler. That'll help him in his defense as using his head and his hands to help kind of olay the wrestler like a bullfighter would, instead of just taking those straight-on shots. You know, if you got a big middle linebacker coming at you, do you want to use your hands or do you want to just rely on your hips? Unless you're Barry Sanders, I want to use my hands. So when in situations like that, we always coach our kids, close the distance, get our hands on them, slow the match down, whether that's using a Russian arm tie or getting into a head and arm, something to that extent to slow him down. And now we're in a cradle. We're giving up back points. Grayson's doing his best to stay out of a pin situation. As much as we love our sponsors, we don't want to give up a pin here. And he's fighting like crazy. He's using his right leg, posting on his heel to keep his shoulders up, but he's got 35 seconds to fight here. And he gave up pin, 30 seconds left. So Oregon's going to take now a 12-6 lead going into 132 pounds. Tough match. Tough match.
Now wrestling at 132 for the Panthers, Kate Hummer.
So for anybody just tuning in, you are watching Beaver Dam Wrestling. Currently Oregon 12, Beaver Dam 6.
All right, so 132 pounds. Beavers looking to get this thing restarted with Avery Femright hitting the mat. Avery has had a really strong season this year, coming into this match at 29-6. He's a junior. Took first, of course, at the Wickersham before the Christmas break, or during the Christmas, or right before the Christmas break, and then last week at Muskego had 3 wins. But here he gets taken down right away. And again, Ninja, this is something we talked about in the pregame. If you're not ready, if you're not willing to or ready to wrestle when you hit that mat, they're going to come out and they're going to come in and attack and they're going to punch you in the mouth. So again, they're not slowing down for anybody. So nice takedown right away, nice aggression right away by Oregon. Now that mat, that was stopped. We came to our feet, but you noticed, especially if you go on the replay there, he had our arm pinned, and that's a rule that was started about 7-8 years ago now, in an attempt to really take away a wrestling situation that could lead to concussion. You can imagine if he would have returned Avery to the mat on that side where his arm was trapped, there's no post there to provide. So anytime you see us in a situation, or any wrestler in a situation like that where the arm is trapped, they're going to stop that. Femright's down below here. Oregon's running an armbar series with a wrist. We're doing a nice job fighting, but again, he's got that arm trapped. He's trying to work into a tilt position to try to get near fall, and what Avery's doing now is he's grabbing that ankle, preventing himself from getting turned a little bit further. Oregon wrestler here doing a really nice job on top. He's really crowding him. He's being super physical and aggressive on top. This is tough wrestling on top, and again, this is good to see for them and their program, but it's also good for our kids to get that push tonight. And that's a caution on us. He's going to call it on Oregon. Interesting.
And you had mentioned some of these guys are going to see each other in just a couple of weeks, potentially.
Yeah, so I'll just elaborating on that a little bit again. So the conference tournament coming up next weekend. So all of the wrestlers from the Badger Conference obviously entered at different weights, and there'll be a seeding meeting prior to wrestling started, getting the best wrestler at number 1 and filing that all the way down to potentially the 14 seed, because there's only 14 schools in the conference that have a wrestling team. Where you're seated matters. So they take record, they take winning percentage into consideration, but they always take head-to-head in, because you're going to wrestle half the guys in the conference. So if you beat somebody and you have the same record, you move ahead of them. However, there's also time for coaches to argue it out. It's not like it used to be back when there was 2-hour meetings and coaches would, be at each other's throats about it. It's a little bit more civil nowadays, but nonetheless, if you have a head-to-head win, you can argue like, hey, I should be up above that, even though we're not back-to-back. And so these matchups are really super important, and that's why you see a lot of coaches go out and schedule in their non-conference against others they're going to see. You'll see that, too, when it comes to regionals specifically, because I can tell you as intense as the conference seed meeting is, the regional seed meeting is way more intense. It's the only time you can tell that coaches are nervous going into a meeting, because so much of your postseason success is how you're set up, and obviously you do all that in the training and the practices, but getting the correct seed and not just seeing wrestling that person in the first round, but what you get in the semis. Your path to the finals is so much more important.
Well, I find it hard to find Coach Winker to ever be nervous.
He is cool, calm, and collected at all times. But even he worries a little bit about where you're seated. And, unless you have a kid like Aiden Sinclair or the Mirasola boys up in West Bend, you're always going to be a little bit nervous because, again, with the sport of wrestling, nothing is guaranteed. You still got to go out and wrestle the matches. Nice shot by Avery there, a nice low single. He brought it back to his feet again. Bringing that shot back up to your feet is a strong position. Loss that, I would argue, and I know Coach Winker just was, that the Oregon wrestler was fleeing the mat, avoiding wrestling, if you will, to not get taken down, and you saw him kind of kick there and go off the mat. The other side of that is, he was defending, and where else was he? Because he was on the edge of the mat. So I think that's why the official probably made a no call there. This is a third Oregon wrestler, though, that you notice is looking to wrestle a lot of upper body and tying up the upper body portion. And upper body wrestling is a real game changer and really levels the playing field. And again, we kind of forced some things, and they were just a little bit more aggressive and a little bit quicker in their attack, and they're getting a takedown. So it's 4-0 with 11 seconds left in the second period, with the Beavers down on the scoreboard 12-6. Now, I'd also say, if I were Coach Hookstead, that I would be telling my guys, hey, you're doing a great job with that arm bar, and you're really grinding on top. We got to make sure, though, that we keep it legal. You can see their hand. If their hand comes up towards the neck, so instead of coming straight across the back but comes up towards the neck, that'll be stopped. That's an illegal hold because it can put a tremendous amount of pressure on the shoulder. So you'd hate to have a great position lost because of an illegal hold. Third period here, Oregon's going to choose top. Now, you don't see that very often. So, this isn't hard to think, like, why would he want to choose the top position? Well, A, he's probably really good there. And B, he thinks he can get a turn and possibly pick up those bonus points to move this from a decision, where we're at right now, to possibly a major decision or a pin. And for Avery, he's down 4-0. You got to be working here. I know this is pretty simplistic, but you can't score points laying on your belly. So I know the top wrestler's putting a lot of pressure on, and I know he's wrestling real tough here, but you have to get moving here. You have to find a way to get your hips off the mat here. You have to be doing everything you can right now at 1:15 to be getting out of there. And I know that's easier said than done, but that's wrestling. Update from the Family Center, it is 0-0 at the end of the first period, so no score in the She-Dam Anchor Trophy game. All right, 55 seconds left here, and top wrestler has a leg in. This is one of the situations where, we got to get out, get our hips up, but at the same time, the top wrestler has to wrestle too. And the referee there called a stalemate, basically said that there's nothing either one of those wrestlers could do, so he's going to stop the mat, restart. This is the other part of legs. I don't like legs necessarily because a lot of wrestlers get out of position, but at the same time, and you see this in college a lot, it allows for a wrestler, if they're good at it, to sit on top with a leg in and not have to wrestle. They can look active while not being active, if that makes sense. And when you got a lead, hey, why not? So 28 seconds left, down 4. Head down, head on the mat. He's got, pulling that arm over the top, but again, you got to get your hips up earlier, and this is tough. So 7 seconds left in the match. 3 seconds. So Oregon is going to win this match 4-0, and Oregon is going to go up on the scoreboard 15-6.
Winning by score 4-0 for the Panthers, Beaver.
So a couple takeaways, Ninja, that I'm seeing right away, and something that Beaver Dam needs to address going forward. Seen a lot of upper body, a lot of control with a 2-on-1 or a Russian arm tie, a lot of aggressive upper body, and this Panther team is not afraid of taking those tough shots off the break. They're driving through some people, and then, of course, riding tough on top. So, really, it's about waking them up and let's go.
So if you're Coach Winker, what are you saying to your guy before you send him out there on the mat?
Well, in this case, so we have A.J. Sweeney out there. He's the lone senior that's in the lineup. You would hope at this point that with it being senior night in his last home duel and he's wearing the gold singlet, that he's hyped and ready to go. That being said, I'd be talking about getting out there, being aggressive, and your goal is to get the first takedown of the match. It's something you got to be emphasizing. Get the first takedown. And really, I'd be talking with all my guys right now. We need to get the first takedown, okay? So that's the first thing. Be aggressive. Get this guy out of position. Get the first takedown, whatever that is with AJ. And then when we get on top, we need to start getting some turns. But it starts with that takedown, and that's just me. Like that was our style. I always coached to be a takedown team. That first takedown is so critical, and you've seen it a couple times when Oregon's got the first takedown. It really puts you in hold because they grind on top. And here again, Oregon just kind of reaches in, looks for leg. Now AJ kind of in a counterattack, grabs that leg, and he's coming through with his arm. He's got to bring his arm around that hip, get his hips around. We're both kind of laying there on our hip. You're hearing Coach yell head hunt, which means grab his head, which he's doing now. Now he's going to rotate towards that head, although he's got his leg stuck. And we are rolling. And so out of that, the Oregon wrestler with 25 seconds left in the match is going to get first period is going to get a takedown. AJ's got to get to his feet. 14 seconds cut. There's an escape. 2-1. We need to look for a snap here. And he's snapping a little bit, but you got to snap hard. You got to circle and snap. Get the Oregon wrestlers in a staggered stance here. If you're going to snap, you need to circle to get his feet square and then snap hard. This kid's leaning, and that would be a great opportunity to open things up for AJ. Oregon's going to choose down. Again, they're up 2-1, opportunity to score points. So A.J. Sweeney, again, wrestling here on senior night. He's a lone senior in the lineup. Cole Krasinski injured, so he's not in the lineup tonight. But this team has 2 seniors, very young team, has shown a lot of promise throughout the year. And this is a team that has high hopes this year, but I would say that the expectations for the next couple of years are quite high for this group. Oregon's doing a nice job getting to their feet. We got to put a lot more pressure forward on their arms and hands, and now we've got them broken flat. Now, this is a situation where Oregon's wrestled us really tough. They've gotten us flat. They've gone to an arm bar, and they've really grinded. This is something that we really need to take advantage of here.
Now, you made a point of mentioning the golden singlet. Is that because he's a senior, or?
Yeah, so tonight, so they have these different singlets, and there's no rule that says that they all have to wear the same. And so Coach Winker does what a lot of programs do, and on senior night allows the senior to wear a little bit different. That right there, that's an arm bar where he got too high, didn't finish with his chest to chest. He didn't finish outside, and the Oregon wrestler rolled us through. And that's, for a coach, that's frustrating because you have an arm bar, you're taking them over, and that should be back points, if not right. a McKinstry's home furnishing pin. But in this case, he gets rolled through, and it goes the other way. And now you're 4-1 with 40 seconds left in the second period. I'm going to tell you, he needs to get an escape here. He's gotten to his feet. There's the cut. With 30 seconds left, I'm still looking to take a shot. He needs to be aggressive here. There it is. Take him right to his butt. He's got to finish. And he does. And he gets a pin on senior night with 18 seconds left. See, that's what I'm talking about. Be aggressive.
That has to feel really great for him.
And that is the third McKinstry's home furnishing pin on the night. Second one for the Golden Beavers. By the way, AJ, it was announced at senior night, it's going to be after high school going and serving in the Marines. So congratulations to him. Thank you for your future service. We appreciate it. And nice win on senior night.
Going to be a fine addition to the Marine Corps.
All right, 144 is coming up. We've got Liam Grunwald, who is a junior, coming out. Liam is 9-9 on the season. He's broken through the lineup here as of recent. Had a couple wins this last weekend against Muskego. So again, you asked the question last, what do you think we need to do? We need to be aggressive. Nice hard shot there. That was a shot almost like on collision. he took him down. But again, this is, you're down 15-12 here at home on senior night, and the one big difference that I've seen between the two teams is how aggressive Oregon's been compared to us. So the message you asked, the message that needs to be sent, be aggressive. Get on the attack. Liam did a nice job getting the turn. He just couldn't keep him there on his back.
I have to imagine as the kids were getting on the bus in Oregon heading this way, they probably got that classic conversation. You're going into their house. They're going to be there to defend. You got to be aggressive.
If you got a young team, there's no better position to be as a head coach than the chip on our shoulders, nothing to lose, us against the world. And not that you want to stay there, but it's easy to get guys up. It's easy to get guys to fight. It's easy to use the respect card to get them fired up. It's a lot harder when you're the one with the target on your back, having to defend all the time. And that's why the best teams, whether we're talking about basketball or wrestling or football or baseball, the best teams out there, they don't worry about who their opponent is. They just go out, stay within themselves, and are aggressive, whatever their sport may be. And that's really the philosophy that Tim and his staff have really taken here is we want to be aggressive at all times. Now, tonight I know in the matches we've seen that hasn't necessarily been the case yet, but that's been their style all year, and I think we're starting to see them warm up a little bit. We're starting to see some of those shots, and I know we'll be seeing that over the next couple weeks. Oregon's going to choose down here in the second period. So again, talking to Brian Hookstead, the head coach for Oregon, I asked him, what are you looking for in this match tonight? And he kept it really simple. We got a young team that's continuing to develop, continuing to grow, really working on rebuilding the program. So, he said, our goal is to wrestle 6 minutes, which means you're not getting pinned. You're not getting teched early. You're wrestling a whole 6 minutes. You're competing. Trying to wrestle with good, solid technique, which so far, check mark and check mark. They've done that. And then, he brought up, every one of these individual matches is important for seeding. He goes, we know what you guys have coming. We know the team that you got. We know the adversity we're facing. But those individual matches, those matches within the match, those bonus things within the duel, so important for next weekend. And I have to hand it to Oregon so far in this match. They have competed, and that's all you can ask from your team. And we got out of position there, and a reversal at the edge of the mat. 2 reversals been given, no back points yet. Liam's keeping that right shoulder up. He's looking to get that arm through so he can get to his belly, which it looks like he's done. That's going to avoid giving up any back points. But now he's got 45 seconds in the second period, trying to get an escape, trying to get in a reversal. He's going to a quad pod there. He's got to come back up. He's posting that leg again, trying to come up in a quad pod position. Turned in there a little early and got taken to a shoulder. They're on the mat yet because one supporting point is in. Now they're off. I think that was a little bit of a late call, but nonetheless, if you haven't watched a lot of wrestling over the years, high school in Wisconsin is moving closer and closer to the college out of bounds rule. And if you watch college, wrestling continues as long as one guy has his toe inside that circle. So it allows for a lot of wrestling to happen on the outside of the circle. We're not there yet, but we're getting closer. And it's really to help the officials make those judgment calls on the side of the mat, but gives our wrestlers another opportunity to keep going. Oregon's doing a really nice job. You notice they're tying up that near elbow. There's a great look at it. Tying up that near elbow, keeping their elbow inside our leg and really looking for a tilt to try to turn our shoulders to get points. Third period here, Golden Beavers are going to have a choice, and they're going to go neutral. They're not even thinking about it. 2-2, we're going neutral. And some of the people at home might be saying, well, geez, Ryan, you've been saying down is the correct position because you can get away. Well, if you really watch that last period, we were underneath and we couldn't get away. And there we go. Aggressive wrestling. When you wrestle aggressive, good things happen. Gets on a nice shot, takes him to his back. So we're looking for that bonus takedown, those plus those plus takedowns. So anytime you get that takedown plus near fall, those are ideal. And now he's in a position he's been, he's going to have near fall. The ref's holding 3, so it's now a matter of if he can get the pin. He doesn't, but 3 near fall coming, so that's a 5-point swing in this period. So 1:14 left in the third. .56 seconds left. We're in a ride position. We've got a cross wrist. Now we're throwing a leg in. And again, at this point, it looks like we're just going to ride him off the mat, get a fresh start. It's not a bad position for either wrestler there. It's 7-2, 39 seconds, up 5. Winker is telling him to cut him, let him go to his feet, so it makes it 7-3. This is the idea of a lot of quick takedowns to try to get to that major. If you're going to do that, though, you got to score, not give up takedowns, and Oregon gets a takedown there. Liam's now up 7-5 with 22 seconds left. Just, by the way, got an update from the Family Center. Thank you to both Andy and Shelley Strakota. Beaver Dam is up 1-0 on a goal from Braden Strakota. Joe Trotter on the assist. 7 seconds left in the match. Our arm is trapped there. This is tilt country, and he's doing a nice job defending. 2 reversal. Love the tenacity there. I love how he kept wrestling. He was defending.
Right to the buzzer.
Yeah. 9-5. Now, that's still going to be a win. It's a 3-point win. There's no bonus points here. But as a coach, you love it that he didn't stop wrestling. He defended. He held his ground there. He held his lead and then got the reversal at the end. Nice job, Liam.
I was able to notice there on that last match, the Oregon wrestler was really using his head to kind of prevent us from getting leverage.
Hey, your head's a weapon. Your head's your other hand. Another hand. I'm just waiting for the intro here. All right, so a lot of us that grew up wrestling in freestyle, which is in Wisconsin, that's out of season wrestling. Nice shot and finish by Easton right there again in 8 seconds or less there. You use your feet and your hands, all his hands. And anytime you can use your feet as another hand there, it's ideal. You can use your head as well. And like in this position, Easton is using his head periodically here to keep leverage down on the Oregon kid's head. So another hand that he's using to keep pressure down. He's got a nice arm bar there. Notice where Easton's hips are. They're back. He's working his chest back. So earlier when I think it was Braden got out of position in the same spot, he was a little high. Easton's doing a nice job keeping his hips low to the mat. He brought his chest to chest, keeping his weight back so he couldn't be rolled. Now, unfortunately, he's kind of lost a little bit there, and he's still working for a pin here. He's going to step over there to get some better leverage, switches his finish to a half Nelson there. That's tight, folks. That kid's going to have a chiropractic appointment set up tomorrow morning. That hurts my back just looking at that ninja.
That makes 2 of us.
Right back to the arm bar. He's got that one tight. Shoulders are down. Easton, by the way, I should mention, comes into this match 30-7. He's a junior. Make that 31-7 now, and he's had a fine season. He's wrestled some really tough wrestlers, and he's going to be primed for a postseason run this year.
And that was just a great example from what I could see of coming out being aggressive right off the bat, really hitting it, and it just clicked. Everything seemed to click.
Yeah. And in a McKinstry's home furnishing pin for the good guys. Oh, sorry. The green and gold, sorry. Just another update from the Family Center. It's now 1-1. I don't know who scored it, but it was Sheboygan, so we'll just move on. 1:57 here. Landon Groves out there wrestling. Landon Groh is a sophomore this year, broke on the scene last year as a freshman wrestling varsity. He's 21-7 coming into the season. Had a real nice season so far. And again, hey, aggressive. Good things happen when you're aggressive. Landon, last weekend, 5-0 at the Muskego Duels.
That's something I haven't seen there before, but literally picking up the opponent and dragging him back on the mat.
Yeah, unless he's in a pinning combination, once the takedowns happen, you don't lock your hand. So that's a pretty easy call for the official. All right, so 2-1, a minute 34 left in the first period. Beaver Dam is now up in the team duel race, 21-15. So back to it. Right there, that's that arm bar that we've seen by both teams. Arm bar is such it's an old school move, but it's old school that continues to work and be effective. Now he's working the arm bar. He switched his side, threw a half in the other side. That's so tough. If you got a guy that can hit that, and with a McKinstry's Home Furnishing pin with a minute 14 left, if you can run an arm bar and jump sides on a half, that's pretty tough to beat. Landon's now 6-0 in his last 6 matches, with a record now of 22-7.
And just an absolute night and day for some of the early matches we saw. A lot more aggression, a lot more exciting wrestling.
Yeah, well, and again, look, you can make sports complicated, or you can keep them simple. The simple part is just go out and be aggressive. And you've seen the difference. When Oregon was super aggressive to start off their matches, good things happened for them. Now the Golden Beavers have been aggressive. Good things have happened for them. At 165 pounds, the Beavers are going to send out Odin Nico, who's a junior, on the season. He's been in and out of the lineup this year. In on a single leg. Now, Odin's a taller guy, so that shot down below the knee is a pretty low shot for him. And gets a takedown there. You saw the kid didn't go all the way to the mat, but put his hands on the mat, and that indicates a takedown because he's down on all fours, essentially. But he's doing a nice job fighting, and he gets away. Now, the reason this happened is Odin wasn't able to get to a mat return. And what you see a lot of times in collegiate wrestling is pick up and drop him on his hip. That's a nice, tough return, and you see a lot of the upper-level teams in Wisconsin doing that. It's a very much collegiate style. We weren't able to get to that, and for that we paid the price there, right? We gave up an escape. By the way, update coming fast and furious. Thank you, Shelly Strikota and Andy Strikota, both giving the update. Beavers are now up 2-1 with a goal from Evan Burkhart. Assists go to Boston Damon, who's making his return, and Joa Trotter.
Fingers crossed that Shadam Anchor stays in Beaver Dam.
Yeah, no reason to turn the channel unless you're really sick of listening to me talk. Then you can just mute it. No reason to turn the dial because again, I'll just keep giving you the scores. And then when we're done here, then flip it on over to see what Mike Tron's doing. I know my mom's already done that. She tuned us out a long time ago. Oregon got the takedown there and went right into a cradle position. That's tough. Odin's got to fight to keep that left shoulder up there. He's trying to hold on to that leg, hoping that'll do it. He's going to roll through here as the Oregon wrestler lost control, and time's going to run out. So there's going to be 2 near fall. He only counted 2 near fall there. That whole time that we were facing with our back towards the mat. So it's 5-2 going into the second period. Golden Beavers are going to choose to defer. Oregon's choosing down. Oregon is up by 3, looking to extend their lead here. Nice hand control by the bottom wrestler. You saw, and I don't know how many people saw that, but right away took the hand that was on his navel there and took that hand right off his belly. And so that takes a lot of pressure or a lot of control by the top wrestler away, and that's a very interesting call there. They called stalling on Nico. The argument there, I guess, is that he drove the bottom wrestler off the mat in order to avoid wrestling, which I'll be honest with you, Ninja, that can be called there, but you don't see that so quick in that position. Again, Oregon did a nice job coming to their feet. He switched it right into a single. So not even an escape, but switched it right into a single leg. And therefore, it's a reversal, not an escape and takedown, and takes it right again into a cradle. So these middleweight guys in the upper part, the 65, 75, you see a lot more cradles. They got the long arms and limbs, and he gets a pin with 1:20 left in the second. That's going to tighten things up here. Beaver Dam is now up 27-21 as we head into 175 pounds. Now that's going to send maybe the hottest wrestler on the team out for the Golden Beavers. That's Colton Schultz. He's been on an absolute tear this year as a sophomore. Colton comes in the mat into tonight's match 27-6. He, like Landon Grove, finished last weekend at Muskego 5-0 against some pretty tough competition. So he's wrestling very, very well right now. At 175 pounds, again up by 6 on the team race. So Colton's a guy, he's a big, strong kid, and look at that, he just muscled him over. He used, Ninja, there's really not much I can say. The kid kind of dropped to a knee, and we just horsed him over. That's some good old-fashioned country horse power right there with a pin in 29 seconds.
We talk about technique.
By the way, McKinstry Home Furnishing pins. Sorry.
There you go. No. We talk about strategy. We talk about maneuvering and getting in the right position. But a lot of that was a lot of just raw power and strength there as well.
Yeah, being an athlete and spending your time in the weight room and look, again, it doesn't have to be complicated. Taking your opponent where their body wants to go. And so that wrestler was off balance, out of position, and he just horsed him over and got the pin. So we moved to 190 pounds. Mason Groh, who's also been just a tough wrestler this year, gets on his tack right away. Nice finish. Puts his opponent to the mat. Now he's stepping through the leg Turk. Doesn't get it, but he ends up getting the kid to turn to his back and gets some near fall out of it as well. Or he didn't. I thought he had swipes there, but I guess not. So we're on top 2-0. 1:26 left in the first period. We've got a nice deep arm bar that we're going to run here. He's doing a really good job of keeping his hips back. He's got to get his chest back a little bit and put the weight chest to chest. He's getting near fall here. Right there, he's just cranking those shoulders down, controlling, and getting the pin. Nice job. McKinstry's Home Furnishing pin of the night.
Early I thought we wouldn't get to say that very often. But now it seems back to back to back.
Well, I don't know if I was supposed to do that. I probably shouldn't have said pin of the night. I probably just created a whole new
category
feature, and now I'm creating work for you this later.
I got to make all new graphics.
I love this, by the way. You're a 215-pounder. You're an absolute house, and you're going to come out to Ironman? Are you kidding me? That is awesome. So Gavin Viten's coming out to 215, and more importantly, walking out to Ironman.
And walking out like a guy who looks like he spent a lot of time conditioning in the weight room.
He might have, just a little bit, yeah. He was an outside linebacker for the Beavers team on a really tough defense, and he comes into the season 28. He had some reservations about coming out, not because he doesn't love wrestling, but he wanted to get bigger and stronger for football. That's a real passion, and that's something that this sport deals with, and we want to bring those guys out. And this was a kid that last year was an all-conference wrestler, and this is a kid that when he just finally starts to believe that he can be great, watch out, because there's no one that's going to be able to touch him. He's got all the physical tools. He's just got to, get over that hump. And one big win is going to do that. So this is a kid, you want to circle and watch this postseason, because he's a guy that can certainly break out.
And there again, you mentioned that multi-sport athlete. What he's doing here reflects on the football field, vice versa.
Well, and I saw Coach Lindy's here again. He brought his family out, and again, this is one of his better defensive players on football this year, and he's only going to get better as he continues to work every single night in practice on tackling, which is, in wrestling, just a double leg. There's a position where we need to work on this offseason of just a little bit more upper body and using our hips to really kind of throw off the leverage position there, but that comes with experience. So Oregon up 2-0 on the scoreboard here, 44 seconds left. I would love to see Gavin get a little bit angry, light a fire, and use his power. He's a super nice guy. I love talking to Gavin, but if we could find a way to get him angry, boy, I don't know if I'd want to line up against him on the mat.
Maybe somebody should send him a bunch of Hulk comics.
I just got a quick update from the Family Center. The last time I said we were up 2-1, we are now down 3-2. So I'm just going to not look at my phone. All right, we're stuck in a cradle here. Gavin was able to break out of that, but back points are going to be given, 2 back points. Time is going to run out. We're down 4-0 going into the second period.
I imagine it takes a lot of strength to get out of the cradle like that.
Well, and at this weight, it takes a lot of strength to keep a cradle. So you don't see it a lot at the 2 upper weights just because guys are a little bit less flexible, a lot more powerful. You see a lot more power stuff on top, going with an arm bar, going with a cross face. But that's the situation. So we took a shot there, but we kind of just dove in. He's got to set up that shot. He's got to open this kid up. So this kid that he's wrestling here, he's doing a nice job putting his hands on us and closing the gap and slowing us down and going to an underhook. Obviously, we don't want to be there. Gavin's got to drop one of his shoulders and turn. So instead of just kind of wrestling and going chest to chest, mano a mano, what he needs to do is drop his weight a little bit. He needs to pick a side, drop one of the shoulders, circle away from it to stay out of those double unders. And Gavin needs to get back to what he's good at, and that's getting on a leg right there. Takes a single leg. He needs to move him. He's just standing there. He's got to move him, which he's doing. Plants him right on his butt, crawls up the back. Keep that wrist. Keep that wrist. Missed it. But again, I would, if I'm coach, I would consider cutting him here and going back on his feet. I think we can take this guy down, and but we'll see what happens here. We're getting a little bit too high there, putting our arm out front. Got to stay behind the arms. He's trying to pull that arm up. We're getting to get that trapped. I think you stay behind the arms, look for maybe a spiral ride or something on the ankles to get a breakdown, and that's what he's going with is a spiral ride. He's not doing much with it. He switched to a leg. Maybe that spiral ride was kind of a setup to get to that leg. Now he's going to try to pry the far side. He's got to get his hips up. His hips are down there. There he goes. Gets his hips up. He's going to scrape that face, scrape it. And I know that doesn't sound real great, but that's exactly what he's trying to do here. Scrape that, the nose right off him is what you're trying to do in as legal a way as possible. 11 seconds left. Doesn't look like he's going to get a turn here. But when you're riding legs like that, you've got to keep your hips up and in, not letting them get caught underneath. We're in a scramble position, and see, again, you got to have those hips in and driving. So Oregon has choice third period. They're up 4-2. They're going to choose down. Beavers are going to ride. Chops right off the whistle, pulls him over to his shoulder. We got to get to the side. Yep, he's going to try to lift that ankle and drive across his body. Well, he gave up on that. He's chopping that arm, trying to get him to a hip. The bottom wrestler's doing a great job keeping his position and not falling to the hip. Looking for a quad pod. This kid can roll. He has shown he's capable of a shoulder roll, so we want to be careful and not get too far out. But we're at about 1:30 here. We haven't really done anything to turn. There's a leg. Lift that leg up high. You can get a leg turk. let it go. Bottom wrestler is being called for stalling. And stalling simply means in the official's subjective eyes, the bottom wrestler is avoiding wrestling. We're not actively engaging in wrestling. We're going to throw a leg in here. We got to put our hips in, which he did there. We got to catch that face and scrape. Now they're going to call him for stalling again. That's a second one. That's a point for us, for Gavin. But you're not going to win by getting 1 point stall calls. You've got to actively wrestle. He got out of position with his legs in a scramble there. We're going to give up a reversal. He's off the mat. Update from the Family Center. It is now 4-2 Sheboygan. 36 seconds left in the match. It is now on the scoreboard 6-3 Oregon.
It looks like the coach is over there having a conversation with the ref.
So one of the things that happened there, and Coach Winker went to the table to ask for some clarification. It looks like they're questioning whether it was an actual reversal or not. One odd situation here is that we do have the JV official sticking around for being the assistant referee. And while the assistant referee can't make a call like that, he can certainly help the head official if asked to do, and that's what it looks like. So what they did was they're going to take that reversal off. It's 4-3. They're going to start from referee's position. Gavin's going to choose to go neutral rather than wrestle from top. So we've got a neutral position, 3-5, 35 seconds left. If Gavin gets a takedown here, it's tied. Takes a hard shot. He's got to keep driving. He's got to get back in the shot. Oregon's doing a nice job. Keep him up where he doesn't feel comfortable. And Gavin's got to clear those arms, get on a shot. 21 seconds left. And gets taken down. Oh, no. Looked like they collided heads on that last shot.
We're going to go ahead and take this moment, take a quick break, and let them attend to the wrestler. We'll be right back on Daily Dodge TV.
Cheer. Now cheer louder. Any accomplishment worth doing is worth doing with all your heart and soul. The entire team at Hometown Glass and Improvement knows that dedication, time, and respect can lead to greatness. When practicing free throws, running for a touchdown, or installing new windows and doors, it is commitment to something larger than oneself that creates a legacy. So keep cheering for your hometown team. Hometown Glass and Improvement online at hometownglass.com.
And we're back.
So don't know, obviously, what happened down there, what was discussed. Obviously, if they felt it was a serious head situation, they would not have allowed him to continue on. Match is going to finish. Oregon's going to win this match 7-3.
Winning by a score of 7-3 for the Panthers, Sebastian. Now wrestling at 285.
All right, so we have two matches left in the dual meet, heavyweight and 106. We're going to roll with heavyweight first. Michael Keberline is coming out as sophomore. He's hitting the mat at 13-17 coming into tonight's match. Obviously, there's concern still, and I know the trainer's taking a look at where Gavin's at as this match kicks off here. Hopefully he's okay, as there isn't a whole lot of time left in the season, so you hope that we're not looking at something that's going to keep us out for very long. Our attention turns to heavyweight here. Mike is coming out. Mike's wrestling heavyweight this year. He was a 220-pounder last year. Chose to go up a weight class and wrestle wrestle with the big boys. So one thing you're seeing here, a lot of hands, working for hands and hand control and taking hands off wrists and really vying for control here. Mike's a guy, and just in my conversations with him, he's another one that, needs to start fast and get to his offense early because he's got some nice tools to work with. And, if we can jump on things early, that sets him up for success.
Every time you touch your phone, I'm worried we're getting another update from the Family Center.
From what I can tell, it's 4-2. From what I can tell, they made a change in goal tender after the fourth goal. So, we'll see. We'll see later after this and the next match, and our post game. We'll switch on over and see what's going on over there. But don't change that dial yet because we still got things going on.
A lot of exciting stuff still happening here at the field house.
Well, and we're hoping after the dual meet concludes and Coach comes up and talks, we're hoping to get a couple of those seniors to come up and just kind of give their thoughts and things. So stick around and hopefully we hear from them as well. Not much going on here, 15 seconds left. Both guys kind of jockeying for position. This is going to be one of those heavyweight matches that's going to go to the mat, and whoever can get away or whoever can get that turn is most likely going to win. So that's the end of the first. And again, just a reminder, Beaver Dam is up in the dual meet 39-24 with 2 matches left. So at this point, if you're looking at the score and saying, is Oregon still in it? Well, the most you can score now is 12, so the most they can get up to is 36. So the dual meet is a little out of question, but they're looking to see how close they get. Keberline throwing legs in, and he's super high, super out front. You don't see a ton of heavyweights throwing legs. He was able to get his opponent broken down to hip, but he's high. He's out of position there. That's tough to be in. That leg just popped out. He's got him back on his hips. He needs to get his hips back. He needs to get to a more powerful position because right here he's just kind of holding on and. He's looking for a half Nelson there. Bottom guy isn't giving it up. One of the things with guys that run a lot of legs is from this position you really want to throw your hips to a side and really open up the guy's hips and open them up into different positions such as a crossface or a different type of half. We're kind of just laying on top, which is why the referee called a stalemate there. Looks like they're going to go to blood time here, and I don't know if it is because of blood. If a contact fell out, he was kind of poking his face. Well, it looks like a bloody nose. So we get our first bloody nose break in the second to last match. I think we need to get a sponsor on that. I don't know. I think, I'm not going to throw it out there because I don't know about trademarking and how that works, Ninja, but there's a couple places I think could benefit from a sponsorship of the blood breaks.
That's a definite possibility.
So 39-24, Beaver Dam on top of Oregon. So just as we have some time here, so this is the last duel of the year. At this point, after tonight, the JV go out and wrestle tomorrow. I know there's a girls' tournament that Coach Lauterbach's taking wrestlers to tomorrow as well. The varsity will be off. Their attention turns to the conference tournament, and that conference tournament will take place next Saturday at Wanakee. Wrestling to start at 9:30. I would be there early. That typically is one of the top conference tournaments you're going to see in southern Wisconsin. So if you're not doing anything, that's a great drive over there for a great event. The Golden Beavers did lose to Wanakee heads up in the dual meet, so Wanakee, and I think I mentioned this on Wade's show you get 1 point towards a conference championship for every head-to-head dual meet win. So right now, Wanakee is a point up on Beaver Dam. However, for placement at the conference tournament, you get a certain amount of points. So it's still possible if because Beaver Dam's going to hold on and win this one way or the other, this dual meet, that if they finish higher than Wanakee at the conference tournament, and Wanakee doesn't lose their final dual meet, that they can bring home a conference championship. So that is still very much in play, although, you got to have guys healthy and you got to fill your lineup and you got to wrestle well. That's not a given. Conference tournament's tough. And the one thing I always found is difficult as a coach with the conference tournament is if you're in the north or if you're in the large like we are, you're going to wrestle teams from the small, which means that part of your conference tournament and the points that go towards a conference championship are determined by how you do against somebody in the cross division. And I never liked that, but that's what the rules are, and everybody knows what the rules are going into it. So that's something that this team is going to have to, after tonight, really recalibrate and focus in on that, because I know that's a major goal of theirs. They have a lot of goals left to get, and they're all still out there, but it's going to take a healthy and full lineup to do that. Caberline's down 3-0 here. He's got double unders. I'd like to see him lift it up, step in a staggered stance, lift those arms up, lock your hands, and take your opponent to the mat, and he didn't do that, and he got taken down instead. 5-0. When you're in a double under situation, in Ninja, that just means my two arms are under your two arms like that.
Right.
It can go one of two ways. You can either carry that guy's weight, which at heavyweight is a lot of weight, and you can wear yourself out if you stand there in a square stance. Or you can get into a staggered stance and get your whole body underneath you and lift this guy to lock your hands. The other thing is you can't go straight in on him. You can't be chest to chest carrying him like you're carrying a bag of potatoes in from the grocery store, right? You got to pick a side. You got to elevate one of those arms, whether it's your left or right, whatever you want. I always was a kind of a left arm strong guy there. Get to the side, lock those hands, and look for a return there. So in the last two matches, and we've seen this throughout, we've had a little bit of difficulty adjusting to some upper body wrestling, where Oregon has really pushed the tempo with underhooks or Russians, and that's going to be something that's going to have to be addressed, because you're going to see it from Oregon, you're going to see it from Stoughton, you're going to definitely see it from Monroe and Reedsburg at the conference tournament. So again, that's going to be something that when the coaches watch film, they're going to have to address. And it's not that you want to install a huge system at this point in the year, but rather here are some small pieces that when you get in this position, you can do to get yourself out of danger. So 5-0, 10 seconds left in the match. 6 seconds, so Oregon's going to hold on to win this match 5-0. They're going to close the Golden Beaver lead to 39-27, and that takes us into the final match of the night with Preston Hammond representing the Golden Beavers at 106 pounds. And just an update from the Family Center at the end of the second period. Golden Beavers are down 4-2 in the She-Dam Anchor Trophy match.
1 period left over there. They can do it.
And I gotta be, I was excited when Vitens came out to Ironman, but I gotta say, when your 6-pounder chooses to come out to Hell's Bells, that's always a good sign too. Like, to me, that's a win already, but he's gonna have to wrestle well here. Preston's a tough wrestler. Preston's wrestled a lot of youth. He's not the biggest 6-pounder in the world, and I know that might seem like weird, because how many of us have ever been 106 pounds? I don't ever remember being 106.
I think 6 months old is when I stopped at that point.
But, he's not a full 106, and means that he's not struggling to make that weight class. And so he's a little undersized, but for as small as he is, he might have the biggest heart on the team. This is a guy that goes out and pushes every single night, every single time he's on the mat. And Preston's, he's a freshman, so he's another one of these freshmen that's getting opportunities to step in early. Preston and Landon Johnson, who wrestled 13, have kind of gone back and forth this year. Who's going to wrestle 6? Who's going to wrestle 13? We got our hips. Got to get our hips up. Get your hips up. You can still get his hips up. We're going to get taken down there. So Hammond is 8-15 coming into the season. He wrestles tough. He's a hard kid to pin. He's a pretty flexible kid. He is able to fight out of different positions. Here's another. He's got a half. He's got to peel it off. And the official's making sure that the top wrestler's hands don't touch. If both of them touch and they're both underarms, that'd be a full Nelson, and that'd be illegal. Preston's going headhunt here. He's grabbing that head from the top wrestler, trying to pull it over the top and try to get stacked, and it's not going to be there. He's also working his headgear right now. He's got to give up that headgear. Forget that headgear. Who cares where that is? And just keep wrestling, and they'll stop the match. Now he's turned in. He's on a single leg. He's got to get his hips up and over. He's got to keep his hips coming this way. Keep coming this way. Get your hips down, head up. Keep coming through, young man. You're doing a nice job. Keep fighting in there. Get back up to your hips. Get your hips back up. Get off your belly. Can't score from your belly. There he goes. Got to finish here. Finish across, looking for that far ankle. He's got him posted on a hip. That's a good thing. Get that left arm across the hip. There it is. 2. Nice job, Preston. Way to stay after it. Nice job. Right into a half Nelson here. Now we got bonus points coming. We got near fall.
Listen to that crowd.
They're, as they would say, they're hanging from the rafters, right? There you go, Wade. They're hanging from the rafters. So nice job by Preston. Here's the situation. We were in the bottom position. We were getting hammered on, possibly going to our back. He stayed with it, came out front, got on the single leg, did a nice job circling around and getting his hands free and put that guy on his butt to get that takedown, and then went right into bonus points. That's chain wrestling at its best. Go from one move to the next, to the next, to the next. Don't sit. Don't rest. You can rest after 6 minutes. You got all night to rest. You got all morning to rest tomorrow. Don't rest. Just keep wrestling. Now we're right back in on that leg. There it is. He's got him on his butt. He's got to keep his hips low. Nice job, Preston. 2 takedown. Good job. Now he's going right into a tilt. Right into a tilt. He's getting swipes there. He's got to keep him there. Oh, we're in a tough spot, but he does have back points. He's got to keep his weight going backwards. Slowly. Got to get your hips up. Got to get your hips up. Oh, got stuck in a bad spot there. Just got hung up. And the Oregon wrestlers, he's in a pretty advantageous position here. He's got that arm and head tight there. Preston's going to keep coming through, and he's going to get the pin. Wow. So that's the last match of the duel. Oregon 39, Golden Beavers 39, Oregon 33. So Beaver Dam will win the duel, but I'm going to tell you what, Oregon is pretty happy with themselves. They wrestled pretty tough. They won a lot of matches in there. They fought. They wrestled really aggressively. If you're very oftentimes you're not happy in a loss, but if you're Coach Hookstead, you got to be pretty happy with how your kids wrestled. He said it from the very get-go. He wanted to rest 6 minutes and wrestle tough. They certainly did that tonight.
They absolutely did. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, hopefully we'll have Coach up here to give us his thoughts on how everything went down. You're listening to Beaver Dam Wrestling on Daily Dodge TV.
Hi, this is Dr. Adam Forster at Columbus Family Dental. If you've been unhappy with your smile, it's time that you come and see us. Our team of doctors are waiting to help you get your smile back. We'll take the time to talk with you and treat you like a member of our family, not just another number. Whether it's a whole mouth makeover or simply a little tweak, we'll find the right solution that fits you. For your free, no-pressure consultation, call us today at 623-5559.
The teams at Beaver Dam and Mayville Tire and Service are growing and adding service technicians and auto lube technicians. Work in a clean shop environment with a fun and friendly team that is committed to excellence and customer satisfaction. Competitive pay based on experience, full benefits, including health, dental, 401k. Join the growing team at Beaver Dam and Mayville Tire and Service. Find full job postings on Facebook or visit either location to submit your resume.
Are you ready for peace of mind? Chad Guzzi here, owner of Air Care in Beaver Dam. If you're tired of unexpected repair bills, you want to sign up for our Total Care plan. It ensures top performance and prolonged life of your heating and air conditioning equipment. Air Care's Total Care customers receive annual inspections as well as a reduced maintenance rate plus a 10% discount on all service repairs. Air Care, big enough to serve you, small enough to care. 920-356-8860.
American drivers overpay an average of $368 per year on their auto insurance. Why? Because, well, insurance is hard. It's complicated. It's time-consuming to get quotes from multiple companies, so we overpay. Or we call Richards Insurance in Beaver Dam. Make one call and receive a quote from a great company like Auto Owners Insurance. The team at Richards Insurance will literally do all the work for you. So if you could be saving money each month with an Auto Owners Insurance policy, you'll know about it. How much will you save with Richards Insurance? To find out, call Richards Insurance or stop in at 123 North Spring Street, downtown Beaver Dam. With offices in Columbus, Watertown, West Bend, and Oshkosh. With over 50 employees and hundreds of years insurance experience across 5 offices, you'll get full service counseling with no obligation. Your auto owner's insurance carrier is Richards Insurance in Beaver Dam. Call 887-1615.
We'll be there with you.
Richards Insurance of Beaver Dam.
You're watching the Daily Dodge postgame show.
And we're here back in the field house for the postgame show here after the Beaver Dam Golden Beavers defeat the Oregon Panthers 39-33. We have Coach Winker here. And Coach, you finished the dual meet season, one loss to Wanakee. You know, you would have liked to get that, but still a lot working ahead. What do you look for after this dual meet going into the conference tournament?
Well, I mean, all season we're talking with the kids about, where do we want to finish at the end of the season? All those goals are still in front of us. Obviously, we had a hiccup with Wanakee, a very good team. They got a duel yet tonight, but they may finish the regular season undefeated in conference. But we got next weekend to take care. We still control the outcome, and the focus just every day. Let's get better and let's prepare for as best we can for the outcome that we want.
You guys have wrestled a tough non-conference schedule, wrestled some really good teams, especially of late. What does practice look like now this week as you get ready for the conference and then the postseason tournament?
I mean, now is the time. I mean, most of the haze in the barn, the technique is in. Like, we're not going to change a whole lot of what we're doing, week to week. So right now it's just, let's maintain, let's get healthy, let's feel fresh. Let's just make sure, all the knives are sharp before we put them in the cutting board, and, let's get ready to go to work.
Last question for you. It's senior night. What's that like for a head coach?
It's bittersweet. I mean, you're thankful for all that the seniors have done for you throughout their careers, and you want to celebrate that. At the same time, this may be the last time they wrestle in this gym. So it's certainly exciting and celebratory to be able to thank them for all they've done, but certainly WIA has rules, and kids got to graduate and move on. So
we don't get like 6th and 7th years of eligibility.
No, there's no COVID red shirts or Olympic red shirts at the high school level.
I'll look into it. All right, thanks, Coach. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Speaking of senior night, we're fortunate to have AJ Sweeney up here. Wrestled 138 tonight. Just talk about what it's like wrestling on senior night under the lights in front of your home crowd.
It's a different type of atmosphere, man. My whole life I've always wanted to be in this position, wrestle for my team. As a kid, I used to watch those guys on the mat and just be like, man, someday I'll be up there, though. And now it's come and it's gone, and it was bittersweet, as Coach said, but it was amazing.
So you've, throughout this year, have kind of bumped around in the lineup, wrestled different spots, really for the betterment of the team. And now tonight, you get to finish your senior night with a win as a team, with still a chance for the team to win a conference title and other team goals that we're not going to say and put out there. Just talk about that kind of role that you've played this year with this team.
Well, I've been in and out because of injuries and all that. Had a couple of wrestle-offs against some really good guys. Ashton Seaford actually got injured, so I stepped up in his position today to wrestle for him. And then it's just been nice to be part of the team. I haven't wrestled in 4 years. It's my first year coming back. And these guys welcomed me in with open arms, man. It was great. I've been lucky to be able to wrestle with them.
Whether you're in the lineup or not at the postseason, yet to be determined, a lot of wrestle-offs yet to happen.
Yeah.
What is it like knowing that your team is going to host both the regional and the sectional tournament with a chance to go to state right here, center court, field house?
It's beautiful, man. I could have never expected anything better. It's an amazing situation. I love how these guys, and we got some insane wrestlers, got some dogs out there, and it's going to be great to be able to see them on the mat wrestling their lives out for his conference title.
So we heard and this is my last question for you. We heard that you're planning to go into the Marines next year. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
What kind of inspired you to do that?
So at first it was my uncle who's already been in the Marines. He ran me through everything, and wrestling, taught me a lot, and I just want to go into something that'll keep teaching me to be strong, and it just seems like the right choice for me.
Well, congratulations on your senior night win.
Yeah.
Best of luck going forward, and in advance, thank you for your service to this country as we move forward, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Means a lot.
Thank you. And with that, final score tonight, 39-33. Another great season of wrestling here on the Daily Dodge. We hope to do it next year. Hopefully next year maybe we can get this going at the Wickersham for the finals. But I got to thank Wade and everybody at the Daily Dodge. Got to thank Ninja. Thank everybody for tuning in. And it's been a great season, and there's a lot yet to come. So follow this team whether they're on the Daily Dodge or not. A big conference tournament next weekend at Wanakee, and then we're hosting the regional and the sectional tournaments here in Beaver Dam, right here in the field house, with a chance to send a whole bunch of Beavers to the field house or to the Kohl Center in Madison. So we're looking forward to your support. We'll see you there.
And I can't say it any better than that. I do want to again mention our sponsors for tonight. That's Hometown Glass and Improvement and Columbus Family Dental, as well as the Beaver Dam Unified School District. High school sports is also brought to you by McKinstry's Home Furnishings, Kladowski Real Estate, Slumberland, Silica for your home, Summit Ford, Beaver Dam Mayville Tire and Service, Surefire, Richards Insurance, Reed Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, the Park Village Shopping Center, Preferred Dental Partners, Jerry's Automotive, Air Care, Napleton Chevy Buick GMC, and White Construction. And of course I want to thank our good friend Ryan Gerber for being willing to do the play-by-play and put up with all my inane questions.
Thanks, Ninja.
We're going to ask everybody to stand by. We're going to run a few more spots, but we want to thank you for tuning in to high school wrestling.
Hi, this is Sandy from McKinstry's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam. We are proud to support all Beaver Dam athletes. While at home watching high school sports, why not be comfortable? McKinstry's is a lazy boy comfort studio. We have sofas, recliners, sectionals, and reclining sofas. Stop into McKinstry's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam and add comfort to your home.
Year after year, McKinstry's.
At Preferred Dental Partners, our core values are more than just something we put on our wall. They're something we live out. Core value number 2 is the wow experience. This means that from the moment you walk in the door until the time you leave, we want to provide an experience for our patients that is unlike anything you've had before. There are lots of choices of dentists, and we never want anyone to feel they have to be here. We want them to choose to be here because they feel heard, welcomed, and well cared for. If you want to see what the wow experience is about, call or text Preferred Dental Partners today.
Cheer. Now cheer louder. Any accomplishment worth doing is worth doing with all your heart and soul. The entire team at Hometown Glass and Improvement knows that dedication, time, and respect can lead to greatness. When practicing free throws, running for a touchdown, or installing new windows and doors, it is commitment to something larger than oneself that creates a legacy. So keep cheering for your hometown team. Hometown Glass and Improvement online at hometownglass.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Adam Forster at Columbus Family Dental. If you've been unhappy with your smile, it's time that you come and see us. Our team of doctors are waiting to help you get your smile back. We'll take the time to talk with you and treat you like a member of our family, not just another number. Whether it's a whole mouth makeover or simply a little tweak, we'll find the right solution that fits you. For your free, no-pressure consultation, call us today at 623-5559.
You're watching the Daily